I mentioned in my last YouTube video that Canada was scheduled to collect a digital service tax today that was retroactive to transactions starting on January 1st, 2022. Canada's explanation for the retroactive application is that it held off enacting the legislation that was passed last year in hopes that a multinational agreement would be reached on tax issues, which was being negotiated at the time, but no agreement was reached by the deadline in mid 2024, I believe. The digital service tax is 3% on digital revenue received from Canadian customers, provided their revenues exceed 20 million Canadian dollars annually. The DST is similar to the U.S. sales tax. The tax applies to purchases of goods online, that would be from Canadian customers, purchases of advertising, and revenues from social media. The tax was designed to collect revenues primarily from major U.S. firms like Apple, Amazon, Google, and Meta, since it required at least 750 million euros in worldwide annual revenues. Trump said that he found out about this retroactive tax last week and suspended trade negotiations with Canada on June 27, 2025. To restart trade negotiations with the U.S., which has a current deadline, which may be extended, of July 21st, 2025, the Prime Minister Carney suspended collection of the digital service tax that was scheduled to be paid today, June 30, 2025, on transactions starting in 2022. Quote, in anticipation of a mutually beneficial, comprehensive trade arrangement with the United States. End of quote. The news headlines on this topic suggest strongly that the digital service tax legislation has been rescinded, which is not the case. Carney does not have the power to rescind this legislation. Collection on the tax has been suspended by the Canadian Finance Office, pending a, quote, mutually beneficial trade deal with the U.S. and a vote in the Canadian Parliament rescinding the tax. All of that seems to be omitted in the news stories. If the Parliament does not like the trade deal offered by the U.S., agreed to by Carney, the members could simply refuse to abolish the digital service tax, which would likely cause Trump to end trade talks. I'm taking the quotes and information that I just mentioned from a press release issued by the Canadian Department of Finance. For now, this suspension of the collection of the digital service tax is a positive for the U.S. stock market, given the importance of the trade between Canada and the United States. It does not mean, as suggested in many articles, news articles, that the digital service tax is dead and will not come back if the negotiations break down.